What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and welcome back to another press conference reaction and pre-match fan show. Obviously, we play Dinamo Zagreb tomorrow out in Croatia in the second leg of the Europa League last 16. We have got a new way to bring it to you this week as well. From now on, as we've got the actual press conference, instead of Simeon reading it to you now, we're going to play you the actual video. If you go onto our YouTube now, you will see the full video of Jose Mourinho's press conferences, and we will bring this to you before every single game from now on. Exciting times.
Yeah, it's really good to have it on the channel. I'm very excited. So, how it's going to work? So you do have the full unedited press conference on the channel already. So if you go onto our videos, it's there. But this is basically, we're going to be reacting to parts of the the interesting parts of the press conference, giving our opinion and our take on what we think Mourinho's saying, what we think he's saying with his comments. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. And then obviously we're going to be bringing fans on later as well to have their thoughts ahead of the Zagreb second leg.
All right, so let's get straight into it. Let's bring up Jose and let's see what he has to say. And and then after we go through the press conference, it is your chance to have your say. The link is in the community section right now. It is open to everyone, not just Gold members. So if you want to have your say, go to the community section, click the link and come and join us. But yeah, let's get straight into it.
Okay, let's get the headphones on. 1 sec, there you go. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all well. Welcome to our pre-match press conference for our game against Dinamo Zagreb. As always, please raise your hand and we'll try to get to as many of you as possible. It is all in, so there are no embargoes on anything that's going out now. Moose, we'll start with you.
Hi, Jose. How are you?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Can I just check on the squad? Everybody fit and well for the game?
Yeah. So Højbjerg is suspended. Joe Rodon is not in Europa list. Sonny is injured, and apart of that, everything is fine. And Lo Celso back to squad.
Do you know how long Son will be out for?
I don't know. But of course, no chance for this one.
Oh, that's good news, I guess. Oh, the camera's gone off. That is good news on Lo Celso being back in. Højbjerg obviously was suspended from the last game. What do you think that means for our centre midfield? Who do you play there with Højbjerg? He didn't play the first leg. Is it going to be same Winks as Sissoko, you think?
I believe it could be a midfield two of maybe Winks and Tungi.
You think Winks and Tungi?
It could be, or maybe Sissoko and Tungi. I think Tungi will play. I got a feeling he will play alongside one of Winks or Sissoko, to be honest.
Oh, well, Lo Celso. Too early for him?
Maybe he'll come on, get some minutes, but I can't see him starting from the off.
Definitely not in centre mid as well.
Yeah, exactly. If he plays, it'll be number 10, but I think Dele will get in the number 10 slot for this game.
Yeah, I think Dele has to play, doesn't he? All right, we'll obviously get to check out our predicted lineup later on. But let's carry on. Let's kick on.
I mean, you've got a good lead to take into the second leg. How do you approach it?
I don't think it's such a good lead. I feel it open. I don't feel game over. If we go away and we lose 2-0 and we play the second leg at home, I don't feel it over. I feel it very difficult but open. So the way to approach the game is to think that way, and to think that we still have a match to play and to get a positive result. In the end of the 90 minutes, if we lose 1-0 or if we lose 2-1 or even 3-1, we would qualify. But if we qualify with a defeat in this game, I will not be happy. And that's the way I want the players to think, and that's the way we want us to play. We don't go there to defend the leads. We go there to try to win the game.
Yeah, I think that's the right approach, I think.
Yeah, and the moment where he said that he doesn't think 2-0 is a kind of big enough scoreline to like kind of, you know, play a different kind of team. I think he's quite right, and I think that when you look at the balance of play in the first leg, I think 2-0 maybe didn't reflect us completely. I thought maybe we deserved maybe more than that. But having said that, Zagreb are going to fancy their chances being the home team now. So 2-0, you know, they do say 2-0 the most dangerous scoreline in football sometimes. So it can be dangerous, especially if Zagreb go out there, get the first goal and put us a bit under pressure.
They get an early lead for sure.
If they get an early lead, you know, it could get a bit hairy at times. But if we get the first goal out there, then I fully expect us to make it clean sailing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we do have to act like it's 0-0 and just try and get the win. And obviously, if we get that first goal as well, if we get an early goal, they need 4, and that pretty much kills the game.
Yeah.
So we need that early goal for sure, 100%. I completely agree with that. All right, let's crack on.
Okay, Ali Gold.
Hey there, Jose.
Hello.
You said Gio is back in training. I mean, just how important is he for you in terms of just having other options in the various positions as well?
Yeah, he's a very talented player, and he's a player with a good competitive qualities. And of course, we missed him for a long time. I don't think he has 90 minutes in his legs, but he looked very confident in these 3 training sessions that he did with the team, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I don't feel any limitation on him. I think the team needs him because he's a quality player. And as I was saying, he's very competitive. I believe even for some other players to have him there, he will help some, he will scare others. And I think we need that.
Yeah, look, 100%.
Who's he going to scare?
He's going to scare. After that performance on the North London derby, you've got to look at Tanguy and Ndombele.
You think so? You think he might be saying Ndombele? Do you think maybe Dele Alli? Do you think maybe?
I think,
maybe
to be
not
honest,
Lucas
anyone.
Olamela.
I think maybe not Lucas Olamela, but anyone else that can play a number 10 or a centre mid role. I think for sure. You got to look at Tanguy and Ndombele. I know Tanguy's been amazing this season. He's been brilliant, but that performance in the North London derby was just not good enough. It just wasn't. And I think maybe he still might be kind of got that North London derby post blues kind of thing. And he's talking about Tanguy and Ndombele, talking about players like Dele Alli as well. So, yeah, I think those two in particular.
And he'll help Harry Kane.
He'll help. He'll help
Son,
Heung-min Son,
Bale.
Harry Kane. I don't know. He might even scare Gareth Bale.
Well, he scared Gareth because he played on the right, didn't he? One game against Leicester before he went off injured. Maybe he's going to scare Gareth Bale. But yeah, look, I think it's great to have someone like. I think everyone's forgotten because he's been injured so often how good Lo Celso is and how good he can be. And I really think having him back, obviously, it's perfect timing. Like we need him at the moment, and he adds extra bit of bite as well, bite and quality, which we need. We kind of at the moment are either players who are good on the ball or good off the ball. We kind of don't have a balance of both.
People actually forget that last season he was our best player.
Yeah, he carried us through games at times.
Carried us through games on his own. You know what I mean? And I just remember games like away to Burnley, you know, he came on at half time and completely ran the show that game. Completely ran the show. And it happened time and time again last season.
I remember Man City at home, he was fantastic when we beat him 2-0. Even though we weren't the better team, he was fantastic on that day. Like so, many times he's been
a player
very well.
that can pick up the ball and grab the game by the scruff of the neck. A bit, you know, Tanguy can do that as well, but it's great to have the options.
I remember Leipzig at home as well. He was like literally the only one playing. Yeah. Like everyone else was like not doing great. He hit a post on the free kick and stuff. Like it's going to be so good to have Lo Celso back, but I think this game might come too soon for him. But you never know. Maybe
I think he'll get some minutes. I do think
maybe on
he'll
Sunday
get some
we could see him start.
Maybe
if he makes an impression.
Yeah, and especially with Lamela out suspended as well.
Exactly.
So yeah, it could be right.
It's a good thing. All right, let's crack on.
Hello, Jose.
Hey.
I wondered if I could ask about Harry Kane. We saw him last week with ice on his knee. He was down before Palace, and I wondered if you thought he could play 3 games in a week for England after this next couple of Spurs games, and more broadly beyond that, on what you think about your other players going away for international football.
You know, I have no control. If I could choose, I would love them all to go because I love my players to be involved in national teams. I think it's a question of pride for them, and is a plus for us as a club. So we like the players to go, but of course, if you could choose, we wouldn't like the players to play 3 matches. But it's not in our hands; it's in the hands of their national team managers. There is nothing we can say. If not you, but one of you asks me after, is he going to play tomorrow or is he going to rest? I answer already. He's going to play. The game is open. It's an important game for us, so he plays tomorrow.
Okay, Jonathan.
What do you think of that? Confirming Harry Kane will be starting tomorrow off the back of, we're leading 2-0. He got both goals in the first leg. He did look tired. Obviously, he got a big knock on the end of that game, the second leg, and he did look pretty tired against Arsenal, although he hit the post and looked dangerous. But
he actually grew into the game as the game wore on.
Do you think he looked tired, or do you think because of how Arsenal played, it made him look tired? If you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he was made to look tired. I don't think he was tired because as you saw, like as the game wore on, as we grew in influence in the game, he also grew in influence.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was a tiredness issue.
Do you think it's the right thing to start him?
Most probably.
Yeah, because if he gets an early goal, it kills the tide, doesn't it? Kane could just come up with something.
Exactly. He can get a goal in the first half, then you can take him off after 45 minutes.
And also, if you don't start Kane and we go 1-0 down or something, it's...
Although, you start Kane on the bench, and if we need a goal, you can bring him on second half.
You could do that.
We do have 5 subs, but I would be more safe. Start him, take him off if we got a nice lead.
I think. Do you also think the fact? Do you think if we would have beaten Arsenal on the weekend, maybe he looks at this game and saying, okay, we've still got a very good chance for top 4, so maybe it's worth resting Kane. But because we got the bad result, he's like, this game's even more important now.
Nah, I don't think so. I think Jose's got his sights firmly set on a trophy this year, and I believe that he would prefer to win Europa League than finish top 4 like all of us would, to be honest. And I think
he would as well.
And I think regardless of the Arsenal result, Harry Kane probably because it was only a 2-0 lead, probably always would have started this game.
Yeah, I was actually talking to a United fan about that season, which could be very similar to our season when they finished sixth and won Carabao and Europa, and he was saying how Jose was still kind of balancing both up until it became literally impossible for them to get top four. Then he's like, okay, I'm going to put all the eggs.
He rested a lot of players for that Arsenal game. I remember just before the semi-final.
Yeah, so I think maybe we could start seeing that if league results continue to falter, or especially against the top half teams. But yeah, Villa's a massive game on Sunday. But yeah, I think it's the right decision to start him on tomorrow. All right, let's carry on.
Hi, Jose. It's a very similar question, but would you expect Son to travel to Japan for a friendly against South Korea next week?
Look, if a player is injured, a player cannot play a friendly, an official, doesn't matter the match it is. So if we arrive next week and Son is injured, and we can obviously prove that to the South Korean Football Association, what is he going to do there? Nothing. So if a player cannot play for the club, the player cannot play for the country.
Okay, Jack.
That was quite an interesting answer. I felt like the way he answered it was like implying like he could maybe he could play, but we're not going to play him to make sure he doesn't play against Japan, kind of thing.
I don't think he would imply anything like that in the press. I think that he would always keep that completely under wraps if he was going to imply something.
But if he's injured, you don't need to prove it to them. They'll see he's injured. You know what I mean? So this whole thing we need to prove it to the Korean FA that he's injured.
I think it's because of all the news that came out from Ali Gold saying that the injury isn't as bad as first feared and all that kind of stuff. And obviously Son is such an influential player for South Korea. So
obviously they're going to want him to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that if he isn't going to play for Tottenham, there is still a chance he goes to South Korea, but maybe just Jose is just trying to keep him as much as he can.
Do you think he plays for South Korea?
It's a difficult one. It depends if he plays.
I don't think he's going to play. Based on what Mourinho is saying, he's saying if he doesn't play for his club, he doesn't play for his country. That implies to me that he's going to stop him from playing. He's not going to play him on Sunday.
I mean, I hope so, man. I mean, obviously, I want Sonny to play, but he has looked tired the last couple of games, and I think this rest will do him the world of good. I think he'll come back revitalised for the last part of the season. I really believe that. And if he goes to South Korea, it could kind of slightly hamper that.
If I told you either he plays an hour on Sunday and plays for South Korea or doesn't play via the game,
I'll say don't play.
Or if I tell you he's going to get a goal on Sunday,
I'll still say don't play.
Don't play. Just keep him fresh. Yeah. I really, really hope he doesn't play for Korea, man. I really hope they keep him, because if that 3-week rest will do him the world of good, because especially that he's been looking a bit leggy recently. But all right, let's keep going.
Brooke.
Hi, Jose. Lucas Moura is speaking to us later. He's playing really well in the last few weeks. What do you think about his recent contributions and what that says about his quality and character?
He's one of the players that you are never worried about the way he approaches matches. With Lucas, there are not question marks about the things that I consider the basic of football. But when I say basic, then probably is not the right word. Probably is the fundamental. And the basic and also the fundamental is that you take your job in a very, very serious way. Doesn't matter if you start the game, if you are on the bench, if you are in the stands. There is no needs of hypothetical extra sources of motivation. Is what I used to call, let me try to find in English the word, a professional from toe to hair, head to toe, is this kind of player. So after that, plays better, not so good, score, doesn't score, play on the right, play in the center, play on the left, play striker like he did last season. For him, the things that are not negotiable are the fundamental. So for me, he's one of the players that I I totally respect because he's a proper professional.
Yeah, it's good.
I
Good quotes on
think,
Lucas
I
Moura.
think that's completely spot on about Lucas Moura, because what have we always said about Lucas Moura? He always gives 110% on that pitch. He's always running around like a madman, always going into challenges, never backs out. I mean, he's always giving his all for the team, isn't he? And you can see how much he loves the team. And that's the plain facts of the matter. I mean, sometimes we've questioned his kind of quality at the end of his long mazy run sometimes, but we've never questioned his application and kind of desire on the pitch.
He's always the one closing players down and winning tackles. Again on Sunday, he was literally like one of the only ones doing that. So I think that's absolutely spot on. But maybe when you could say that because he was going through a period, wasn't he, when he wasn't using him that much. So maybe he could have used him a bit more during that period. But, we were saying that he was frustrating, and a lot of the times he was very anonymous. But I do like the way he's put him in this central position, and I think he looks more involved in the game now. He doesn't like flit in and out of games. He's always kind of there. Either he's hounding players or he's like dribbling past, and it's quite good.
I feel like he's playing with confidence now as well, as opposed to maybe earlier on the season where he wasn't really playing with confidence. But confidence, no confidence, he always gives his all for the team. That's never out of the question.
All right, let's keep going.
Jose, can I just go back to Matt's question about Harry? And sorry to ask you. I mean, England's 3 games, Jose, San Marino, Albania and Poland. Would you expect him to play against San Marino? Is that perhaps not a game he could be rested in? And given on Sunday, you said that Son's injury was accumulation of minutes.
No, but I cannot do Garrett's work the same way Garrett is not trying to do my work. He doesn't make any comments about my selection. He doesn't give any public opinion about should I play or should I rest or should I give more minutes to this English player or less minutes to the other one to rest. He never makes any comment. I don't feel also very comfortable in doing that. If in the summer I do some little funny work with the media for the Euros, then I will feel some freedom of speaking about others' jobs. But in this moment, I don't feel comfortable. He does what he wants. He does what he thinks is the best for the team. I believe that he has a good relation with Harry. So good relation means normally good communication. And I hope that in between them, without me being in the middle saying something, I hope that in between them, they can find some compromise to protect the player a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, saying about Harry Kane, who doesn't want to play all 3 games. And he's saying because he has a good relationship with Gareth that he should be able to come up with a compromise. Do you think they will, or do you think...
I think in most international breaks this season, he hasn't played the 3 games. He
hasn't
played the friendly games. He's only played the qualifiers.
Calvert-Lewin's been involved a lot, and he's been well as well. So he's done well when he's been called upon.
I actually think that Gareth Southgate uses Harry well, because I think that when he needs rest in these friendlies, he gives it to them. When it's an important game, he plays him. So I think that's the way to go, because you're not going to not play your captain in a qualifier. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, when it's a qualifier, you have to win, and we haven't qualified from tournaments before, so you can't, especially early on, you can't really take that risk.
I don't think the person to kind of talk about is Gareth Southgate. The people to talk about is about UEFA, FIFA, the people making these fixtures.
The fact there's an international debate right now is ludicrous.
Yeah, that's not down to Gareth Southgate, you know what I mean? So, I mean, you can't really complain about Gareth the way he's using Harry Kane, but you've got to look at the governing bodies for kind of how they're scheduling these fixtures. You're going through a pandemic and they suddenly decided to add another fixture into every single international break. And this Nations League was supposed to overtake friendlies and replace friendlies. What's happened to that?
I don't know. They've added friendlies again.
So now we've got Nations League, we've got friendlies, and we got qualifiers. It's a joke.
It is a joke. And the fact that they've just added an extra 3rd friendly in this international break is just criminal, really is. And I'm really annoyed at that. But what can we do? All right, last question, and then we'll get the fans on.
We're going to go to Stipe Antonijevic from Croatia.
Not this question. We'll skip this question. One sec. Let's go to about here.
shares the ideas of the game. The philosophy is the same. They are not going.
How do you reflect on the Arsenal game, Jose? And what do your players need to learn from that?
I'm not ready to discuss this with you because this is about analyzing the game, analyzing the performance, analyzing the reasons for a disappointing performance. It's not something that I'm ready to discuss with you, media, especially 2 days or 3 days after and 24 hours before an important game that we have. You know, easy to say what I told after the game. We didn't play well at all, and I think that's a very honest way to approach the situation from our side. We all assume that the performance from minute one was poor, and then what happened in the second half happened with a very bad referee decision. But let me make it very clear that for me, Michael is a good referee, and in spite of me normally being very unlucky with him, I have no problem at all to have him as my referee the next match at all. For me, he's a good player, he's an honest guy. He's just unlucky with these decisions. But for me, one of the best referees in the Premier League, and as you can see, also one of the best referees in European football. So I want to make it that very, very clear. For me, was a decision that decided the game, but I have nothing against the quality and the honesty of the referee. So going back to that game at Arsenal, this is what I told basically, and I repeat the same. Total responsibility for us for such a bad first half, and a mistake that decided the game, and a good reaction in the last 20 minutes, even playing with one player less, a reaction that could perfectly bring a different result. But all the rest is to be analyzed inside, is to be shared inside, and to move to the next match, which I repeat is an important match, and 2-0, the game is not over.
All right. That's because he goes on. There's another question, but it's in Portuguese, so I won't go through that. And then he was asked about if he's going to do punditry in the summer of the Euros. He was like, "Yeah, this is like whatever. Who cares about that question?" Didn't he? No, I think he said yeah. I think he said he probably will be. He probably will do. He said I'm not going to do. Oh yeah, he did say that. I thought he said he was. No, I think I'm not going to do any. He usually does though, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he usually does. Usually when he's not manager.
That's when he's jobless, isn't it?
But then it was weird because then on the Harry Kane answer he said if I do some stuff in the summer then I can comment, but right now I'm not going to comment. I don't know. All right, but yeah, that was pretty much a press conference with Jose Mourinho. Some interesting stuff. It's just good to have Lo Celso back. Interesting stuff on Sonny and whether he'll play against Japan, whether Kane is going to play in the friendlies for England. Anything out of that Arsenal response? He didn't really give much away there.
What's he going to say? We played bad. We played a bit better in the last 20 minutes. I mean, what else is he going to say? I mean, yeah. Any sort of like damning things that he's going to say is going to be behind closed doors anyway, so you can't really take too much away from it.
Yeah, hopefully they learn lessons, but they should have learned the lesson from the West Ham game and the Chelsea game, and they just haven't.
And the Everton game and the Leicester game.
It's just frustrating. But yeah.
Shall we start getting some people on?
Let's get some people on. Let's do it.
All right, who are we going to start with, Frank? Let's start with Charlie. Yes, Charlie. How you doing, mate?
Hey guys. Yeah, good, thank you. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, all good, mate. I mean, still not over the North London derby defeat, but you know that game's, we've got to close that book on that game. We've got a new book opening now. Dinamo Zagreb in the second leg. How you feeling coming into this game?
Yeah, look, first of all, I'm just about recovering from Sunday because I'm sure you guys don't want to hear any more about it, and I'm the same, to be honest. But it was just pathetic. And I said to you guys on the press conference reaction for the Arsenal game, I said the most annoyed I've ever been at losses is when we haven't turned up against Arsenal, and that's exactly what happened on Sunday. And I was warning everyone about that, and that's what I was most worried about. If we were to lose the game, and that's what happened. So it's worrying. But look, in terms of the Zagreb game, look, I just hope we can put the Arsenal game just behind us, because I've noticed there's been a pattern this season whenever we have a defeat like this, whether it's against Arsenal recently, against Leicester back in, or actually Liverpool, back in December, whether it's Everton on the opening day, whenever this seems to happen in a big game, we tend to just crumble in the next few games. Like as I said, the Liverpool game in December, we then go and lose to Leicester the next game. There's a pattern here. Whenever we lose, whenever we have a damaging defeat, the next game we tend to go and play just awfully. And it is a worrying pattern. And considering the team, we have this awful record recently against teams in the top half. I do fear a bit for the Villa game, but I don't want to talk about the Villa game just yet, because we obviously got Zagreb before that. I still think we're going to get through. I think obviously, I still have that little bit more doubt than I did before the Arsenal game. But I still expect us to get through because we're 2-0 up. We played very well in the first leg, I thought. They didn't threaten us really, so that gives me encouragement that they didn't offer anything going forward to hurt us. And we probably should be more than 2-0 up. Let's be completely honest. We should have got more goals potentially, but 2-0 with no away goals, it's still a good scoreline to go into the second leg out there in Croatia. But one thing I would worry about is if they get an early goal, if they score first, then it does put the tie in doubt, because it means that they would have halved the deficit if they get an early goal, and they'll only need one goal to level the tie. So it's important we score first. And if we score first, let's be honest, the tie's dead. It's over, because they'll need about 4 goals. So it's just important we go there, we get a goal, and then we can take off the big hitters like Kane, who he said is going to start, and we can just get through to the quarterfinals and see who we get in that draw on Friday. But look, I expect us to get through. I think something very catastrophic will have to happen.
Catastrophic.
I can't speak. But that word. Something like that will have to happen. Yeah, that word.
Do you think it's right that Kane starts in this one, or would you have given Vinicius a run out?
It depends really, because obviously, look, we want to kill the tie off. I can see the logic in starting Kane. I can understand why he's going to start, because we want to kill the tie off. We want to get a goal so we can take him off at half time and stuff. But at the same time, him and Son as well. Obviously, we know what's happened with Son, that injury, which thankfully isn't as bad as it might have been. But with Kane, the same. He just looks a bit tired lately, and I worry about not just Kane and Son, but Højbjerg as well, who's obviously suspended for this game. But he's gone off the pace a bit lately, and I'm worried we're burning some of our players out. I really am. And we still got a massive chunk left of the season to go, and we still got a lot to play for. So hopefully I'm wrong, but it's just a little bit of a worry if we're potentially burning anyone out. But look, I can see the logic in him starting Kane, and I think it's probably the right thing to do, to be honest, to just try and kill the tie off, get that goal, because with Kane, he can get a goal at any moment in a game. And if we go 1-0 down, it's better to have Kane on the pitch, if you know what I mean, because if we go a goal down without Kane on the pitch, then it's probably a big worry for us. But look, with Kane, just start Kane, get a goal, and hopefully we can just get the job done. Because as I said, 1 goal, the tie's pretty much dead, to be honest.
With the return of Giovanni Lo Celso to the squad, I can see he's smiling already. He made some interesting comments during the press conference. Obviously, he said he can't play 90 minutes, but he's looking really good in training, so he might play some part in the game. But he also said he'll help some and he'll scare others. What did you make out of that comment, and who do you think he's referring to?
Do you know what? With that comment, I actually think he could be talking about Ndombele, because
that's what I was thinking.
Because you saw against Arsenal, he was very poor. Probably for me, that's been his worst game of the season. Ndombele, genuinely, I think that's the worst I've seen him this season. I can't think of a game where he's been worse than that this season, which was very surprising considering it was his first North London derby. We thought we'd be up for it. I thought he was going to absolutely eat Xhaka alive, but unfortunately, because Ndombele had an off day, he made them look good. Which, let's be honest, the likes of Xhaka, they're no good at all. But he made them look good because he had an off day. But I can see him talking about Ndombele there. I really can, because look, luckily for us, when Lo Celso is back, which I think we've missed him as an option there, whether it's starting or off the bench, he's just always a great option to have. But we can sort of rotate between the two of them now. Because Ndombele is another player which I've noticed he's looked a bit leggy, looked a bit sort of burnt out a little bit lately. Because the last couple of games, his performance levels have dropped off a bit. So with Lo Celso back now, it can allow us to sort of rotate between the two of them. And we can have them Ndombele fresh when we need to, have Lo Celso fresh when we need to. So it will give us a very good option there. And I think that's one of the few positions in our squad where we can we have two players with arguably, in different ways, obviously, because they're quite different players, but they both offer the same thing for the team in terms of being press resistant, quality on the ball in the centre, and can pick a pass and can sometimes chip in with a goal as well. But so it's two great options to have, of course. And I think that's something we are kind of lacking in the other midfield position, in the CDM role. Of course, with Højbjerg, we know, look, we can probably get away with him in the second leg of this game. But if we didn't have him for a Premier League game, I think we'd be screwed, quite frankly. Because without Skip, for me, I'm really excited for him next season to come back. Give us another option with there. The same thing with Lo Celso and Ndombele. We can have the same thing there with Skip and Højbjerg. We can rotate between the two of them. But unfortunately, right now, we don't have that. And if Højbjerg's out, then we literally have no one else that can play that role. Because look, let's be honest, Sissoko and Winks just that midfield too is just I don't even want to say too much about it. Because,
what's your prediction?
It's just quite frankly dreadful.
Yeah, what's your prediction for the game then?
No, my prediction. Look, I think what gives me encouragement is we're 2-0 up, of course. We've got quite a healthy advantage with no away goals. We, as well, they didn't threaten us at all, really, in the first leg. So I think, look, it will be probably a little bit harder in Croatia, considering they're going to get their manager went to prison bounce, if that's even a thing. I can't believe
you read Sim's tweet.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, I can't believe what happened there, to be honest. But look, I think I'd be stunned if we don't go through tomorrow. And I think, look, I can see them maybe getting a goal from somewhere. Hopefully it's a consolation when we're already like 1-0 up or something. But I'm going to go 2-1. I think in Croatia, they could make it difficult for us. But I think I back us to get the away goal and we should go through. So, yeah, I think I'll probably say right now, I'd say we're around 70-80% through. I'd say, but obviously it's not job done. Still the second leg to play, still to play for. They'll fancy their chances at home in Croatia. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-1. I back us to just get an early goal and just kill the tie.
All right, Charlie. Thanks as always for coming on, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Well, I remember once, what was it, under AVB, we beat Inter Milan 3-0 at home. And went to San Siro and we lost. We were 3-0 down and we went to extra time, didn't we? We had to. I remember it was even 4-0 at one point, wasn't it? And then we got a late goal.
Was it 4-0? Did we lose 4-1 that day?
We lost 4-1. Oh no, we made it 3-1. Then they made it 4-1, and then we literally went for an away goals, having won 3-0. So you know we've seen it all with Spurs, haven't we? Honestly, I remember that game
in the negative light. Yeah,
honestly, that was the hardest game to watch, that away leg in the San Siro, man. But hopefully it isn't a repeat of that on a Thursday.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, the gulf in class between like Inter Milan and Dinamo.
Oh no, Inter back then were average, man. They were an average team back in 2012. They were not the Inter we see now.
They were still looking to like go to the latter stage of Europa League, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. We scraped through. All
right, let's get Eden Cooper on.
Eden Cooper.
What a nice T-shirt you got. Where'd you get that from?
Yeah, from the Hurricane giveaway back game against Leeds.
There you go. See? Evidence. We give away our prizes. We'll see. Nice one, Eden.
Nice one, Eden. Eden, how you doing, first of all?
Eden. It's
cool.
Eden, like Eden Hazard, you know?
Exactly.
Eden, how you doing, first of all?
I'm doing great, thank you. And massive fan of the channel. Love your content, all your videos. I'm always one of the first viewers. Yeah, I appreciate everything that you do.
Don't worry, we'll recognise your name a lot from the comments. But Eden, obviously, we're going into this game with a 2-0 lead. How are you feeling coming into the game?
Well, after the first leg, I was very confident. Like I thought it was kind of done and dusted. But after Sunday's performance, I was very disappointed, and like everyone.
Yeah.
But again, it's Dinamo Zagreb. It's 90 minutes of football. We have a 2-0 advantage, so I think we have to be confident going into this game. It's Europa League. Jose wants us to do well to win the trophy. So I'm slightly less confident than before, but I'm still confident that we're going to go through. Yeah.
Do you think Harry Kane starting this game is the correct decision? Do you think he looked tired on Sunday and he might need a rest in this one? But Mourinho already confirming he's starting. Do you think that's the right call?
Yeah, I think he's playing Harry Kane because he wants to give the squad. He doesn't want to make the squad feel relaxed going into this game after Sunday's performance. I think that if we had won the North London derby, he probably would have rested him. But because of how we played, especially because how we played, I think he wants to get in the squad, in the team, and he wants the response after that game. So I think it's right to play Harry after we lost against Arsenal. But on the other side, I'm very scared because I think I saw him a bit tired. We saw he went off with ice on his knee after the first leg. So I don't know. It's a bit risky, but I mean, Jose is the man. It's his call at the end of the day.
In terms of Giovanni Lo Celso, obviously he confirmed that he's fully back in training now. He can't play 90 minutes, but do you expect him to play any minutes tomorrow?
I don't think he'll start, but I think he will play probably in the second half for like half an hour. And I'm very, very happy he's back because Gio is one of my favourite players. I think after last season, he showed what he can bring to the squad. Jose, I think he has a very good relationship with him. And he's shown it this season. He played them in big games. He played them against Man City. I mean, he came on against Man City in a crucial part of the game. Yeah, he got a goal. He played them at Anfield. He got the assist. He played them against Leicester. We all know what happened.
Yeah, he got injured.
He got injured. So I think for Jose, he's a very big player. Personally, he's one of my favourites, and I honestly see him as a better football player all round than Tongi. But obviously Tongi's been great this season. Nothing to say about him. But yeah, I think Gio is going to be crucial in the second part of the season because I think we've really missed him. And as I said, he's one of my favourite players. So I hope he doesn't overplay him at the beginning of his return. So I would like him to play I would like to see him play like 20-30 minutes tomorrow and then kick on from Sunday, and after the international break I think he'll be crucial for us.
And obviously there were some really interesting comments from Jose in the press conference on Giovanni Lo Celso. He said that he will help some and scare others. Who do you think he's referring to?
Yeah, as I said, and as you said, Ben, I think he's referring to Tongi, but not only Tongi, probably also, or Dele, but Dele hasn't played that much, but still, I think Tongi in particular, because it's probably because of he hasn't had much competition in the last few months. His performances have been a bit decreasing in quality. Obviously, he's still one of our best midfielders, but I think he needs to wake up because Sunday's performance, I was really, really disappointed with Tongi. It wasn't only him, we all know that, but he was also in the post-match press conference from Jose. He said some big players were hiding. I think he was referring to the likes of Tongi, Gareth. They were a bit left alone, especially Tongi. I think it was very tough for him in the midfield because with Doherty playing on the right and him and Højbjerg having to help him, I think it wasn't easy. But still, we were expecting much more, and I think he's referring to him. But I don't fear for Tongi because I think he'll be back as his strongest.
All right, and what's your prediction then for the score tomorrow?
I'm going to say 2-0 again. I think we're going to get the 2 goals in the first half. I think Harry's going to get them both, and then he's going to get on the bench, get nice and warm, and
or nice and cold.
Yeah, ready for Villa on Sunday.
All right, Eden. Thanks a lot for coming on, man.
Nice to see you, man.
Come on,
nice
Spurs.
Up the Spurs. Come on,
Spurs.
Bye.
See you later.
Nice
mate.
one. Good to see Eden.
All right. Who else we got?
Was it Jack? No,
We
Cody.
got Cody Mac. Cody Mac. Cody Mac.
Hi guys, how are you?
Come on, Cody.
How you doing, Cody?
I'm doing quite well. Listen, before we get into the Zagreb game, I just wanted to make mention how much I was enjoying yesterday's hot spar with Sim and John. I think I probably got about 3.4 endorphins out of watching that.
Love that. No, it's good. I enjoy it. I enjoy it with John. It's a new segment that I'm enjoying a lot, and appreciate the support for it. Yeah, we're doing it weekly now, so that's good. It's good to get feedback from the fans.
Yeah, if you ever need somebody to come on and mediate, I'd be happy to come on.
Probably gonna need that with how heated it's getting at times, but yeah. But Cody, tell me what your thoughts ahead of the game. Is anything that Jose has been saying that has piqued your interest in the press conference? Anything in particular, or do you, in general, how are you feeling tomorrow?
Well, I think my biggest concern is that we're running the risk of suffering further injuries, and if we could zoom out on the season for a second, I have a little bit of a theory about kind of where the season turned and how we've gotten ourselves into this situation of being kind of run ragged and being threadbare in many.
Oh, is he gone?
He's still there?
I think he's frozen.
He's frozen, but we'll try and get him back on. Is he gone?
We'll try and get you back on, Cody, but is there anyone else
Apologies,
waiting?
Cody. We'll try and get you back on. He was literally about to tell us the secrets to our problems this season. It's like someone going like, the meaning of life is, and then they get cut off as soon as that happens. It's like, no, let us know what you meant.
It's like when you're streaming football and you go through on goal and it just stops.
Yeah, the stream stops and you're gutted. Like, what? I want to know what's going to happen. But all right,
I just heard a baby in the background. Does that mean Cody's back? All right, let's get.
That's a bit harsh on Cody, isn't it?
Huh?
That's pretty harsh on Cody. Yes, go.
I used to like you.
You're still my favorite. You're my favorite, Cody.
No, I'm Team John Cooper all the way now.
Oh, Cody, I'm starting to question whether you're an actual human or you're something made from Apple now. You're like Cody Mac. You're like some kind of high artificial intelligence maybe Apple's been developing.
I am a Mac Android hybrid.
Love that. Go on, what were you going to say? Because you got cut off when you just say the key to where our season turned. I'm like, okay, well, he's got the answers here, and then you get cut off.
Yeah.
I want to know what you're about to say.
If we go back to the Antwerp loss, I think that was where Jose lost confidence in our squad players to get the job done in lesser games. And you could point to a few players, I think Harry Winks and Carlos Vinicius, players who have been key in our squad in previous seasons. Well, maybe not seasons, but Vinicius in particular, who we expected to come in and maybe spell Harry Kane in some of the lesser Premier League games. We just haven't had that kind of opportunity. So I think not only have we had to play a stronger squad than we would have liked in a lot of these Europa games and the cup competitions, but now we find ourselves at the stage in the season where each successive game that is upcoming is more important than the last. So we have less flexibility to kind of play lesser players.
Yeah, and you can see, like, with Pep, it's like Pep roulette sometimes, what players he's going to play and what lineup's going to be, because he can literally choose from any of his squad, and it's just as good as the people coming in are just as good as people coming out. And unfortunately for Spurs, for a lot of positions, that just isn't the case, and you think that's catching up with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could point to Son's injury as a more obvious example, but everyone's kind of riding Tanguy Ndombele for his performance in the North London Derby, and of course it wasn't the greatest showing of his career, but I mean, when you're getting clattered 10 to 15 times every game, and especially a physical game like we had last Thursday against Zagreb, I mean, you have to wonder how much was left in the tank going into that game, and you could say that about a few players, even Harry Kane. So my biggest concern is that we're going to have to play a strong squad of players who are at high injury risk right now. But I mean, hopefully, I think Jose's theory and the way that he's approached some of these games is that it's better for us to try and get our heads out front before we make substitutions, as opposed to where you saw in the Antwerp game, we fell behind, and when we made the substitutions, we weren't able to affect change in the game. So, yeah, I don't know. We just need that international break, and we need our players to stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, but even in the international break, you got players travelling all over the world, playing 3 games within a week. So, I mean, it's not exactly ideal, is it, this international break? I mean, why have they added this extra game in there all season? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all on board with that. We should have had less international games, as few as possible, but that's kind of out of our control at this point, you know. I would fully expect Sonny not to be in the lineup on Sunday in an effort to keep him home for the international break. And yeah, hopefully Southgate can maybe keep Kane out of 2 out of those 3 games.
Yeah, it was interesting what Mourinho was saying on Son in terms of if he can't play for his club, he can't play for his country. Do you think that it's possible Son could play, or he could be available for selection on Sunday, but Jose doesn't pick him, so he doesn't, so that on the consequence of that, he doesn't play for Korea against Japan?
Absolutely. You know, it would be that would be right out of the Jose Mourinho playbook if you're asking me. I mean, if do you think we have enough quality to beat Villa without Heung-min Son? Let's hope so. You know, I'm really looking for Steven Bergwijn to step into that role on the wing and to provide that vertical threat that can stretch their lines. But yeah, I mean, what happens if we put Son in against Villa and he aggravates his hamstring injury? That means the end of our Europa. That means the end of our Premier League top 4 campaign. You know, if it keeps him out for the Carabao Cup, can we beat Man City without Heung-min Son? Probably not.
Yeah. In terms of Giovanni Lo Celso, there's been a lot of talk about Gio this week. Jose Mourinho confirming he's back fit but won't be able to play 90 minutes. How big is that Giovanni coming back into the squad now?
Well, I think it's huge. You know, it gives us another option in the midfield that can provide some creativity and draw in some defense, create some space. You know, I think I'm looking forward to seeing a fully fit Giovanni Lo Celso alongside a fully fit Gareth Bale. I think that could be an excellent link up. But, you know, Lo Celso has been taking a lot of stick in social media and amongst Spurs fans for how much time that he's missed injured. And I think that's a little bit unfair, you know. I mean, I've seen some people accusing him of being soft and not being cut out and just being the next to Eric Lamela. And, you know, typical Spurs fans, we have that scar tissue right there from Eric Lamela from the last 8 years. It's so easy for us to just take Lo Celso and open that same wound. So I have high hopes for Lo Celso to be a key member of our squad going forward. And of course, let's keep him healthy. I would love to see him not even play against Zagreb, just given the way that they were so physical with us last week. But if he can't play in a physical game against Zagreb, can he really play in the physical style of the Premier League? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
All right. Prediction then for tomorrow?
2-2.
2-2. Going for a Desmond. All right.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get out in front and maybe the tide turns a little bit. I think they probably score a late goal that doesn't mean much. I don't think I'm certainly hoping that I won't have to pull out any of my beard, because after the North London derby I lost all my hair, you know. Yeah, 2-2.
All right, Cody, thanks a lot for coming on, man. We'll see you next time.
All right, glory.
Come on. Big up, Cody. Knowing Spurs will probably go 2-0 down, and then we'll probably claw it back like that. No, Tottenham will give us a heart attack. There's
been slight breaking news while we've been online. The Premier League Player of the Year award, the London Football Awards, have been announced, the nominees.
What's London Football?
Did you not remember the London Football Awards? They happen
Who won
every
it last year?
Was it Son?
This shows how important they are. You don't even know.
I can't remember. But I remember every time a Spurs player win it, we always talk about it. So we may as well talk about it. Because the Spurs player might win it this year.
Yeah,
so
come on, who is it?
The nominees are Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, Declan Rice, Thomas Souček, and Mason Mount.
I
mean, there's one clear winner there, isn't there?
I mean, like, Rice and Souček have been good this year, but like this season, I mean, but if we're talking about the whole year, like, it's got to be Kane, doesn't it? Because Kane had a great end to last year, and it's been, I don't know, what is it? Is it 2020 or is it the season?
I'm imagining it's the season, because the awards are happening at the end of April.
Okay, so Kane's got to win it. Yeah, Kane's got to win it. It doesn't matter what the criteria is. Kane has to win it.
Is Kane going to win PFA this year?
Huh?
Is he going to win the PFA this year?
It depends. I think it depends. If we finish like 8th or something, probably not. But if we get into the top 4, I think he's got a very good chance. Very good chance.
Well, last year, Tammy Abraham won it.
Tammy Abraham won it last year.
All right, scrap this award. Scrap this award.
This is nonsense.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure Tammy Abraham went on a massive goal drought for the second half of the season. Did he not?
I mean, Ben Foster got goalkeeper of the year.
Relegated Ben Foster. That one.
No, the YouTuber Ben Foster.
The cycling GK.
The cycling GK.
I can't believe that.
All right, let's just rewind, pretend the last 5 minutes never happened on this channel, and let's get Jack on.
Yes, Jack.
How you doing,
hey,
Jack?
Guys. Very
Good
good.
to
I
see you,
got
man.
my Dubrovnik, Croatia mug today, and for sipping coffee. I don't think we have worries for tomorrow.
I see.
All right, I'm liking the confidence. Obviously, confident coming into the game. You heard all the comments about Harry Kane, how he's definitely going to start. Jose Mourinho confirming that. Do you think that's the right move?
Personally, no. But at the end of the day, I could see why he wants Kane to play, for the confidence and for maybe just the momentum of maybe I think it was said before me, get that early goal, put the tie to bed. Let the players play from then on, and kind of feel a bit more relaxed and kind of regain some confidence for the rest of the game. So maybe he's just playing Kane just so we can get that assured early goal.
Do you think? Well, how do you think the fact that the Zagreb manager's just been arrested and he had to resign and he's been arrested, he's gone to prison 5 years? What effect do you think that will have on Zagreb? Do you think they'll get a bounce from it?
My only thing is I'm wondering if Zoran Mamic, I wonder if he's going to use this one phone call per day to call the team when they're at halftime and give them the pep talk that might help them get back in the game, because who knows, maybe he's already learning the dark arts of football in prison in Croatia. So that could be their only hope. It's kind of hilarious to see that it's not just Zoran Mamic. It's like a former executive director who was arrested, I think the year before, sporting director. It's kind of a whole family of Croatian managers and directors that were basically siphoning off of the transfers that they had made in years past. So it's actually quite hilarious,
Modric being
but
one of
also
them, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so. So it's you can really tell that they really run it by the books over there in a certain squad of people.
I mean, was it him that accused Modric of treason?
I don't know if it was him personally. Yeah, it might have been. I know, but all I know is Modric had to testify in his trial. I know that.
Yeah, that was
apparently
changed his story.
He changed his story a couple of times.
This adds some context to that.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, it's interesting. It's one of the weirdest probably circumstances to go into a football game having the opposition manager just gone to prison. That's probably one of the. It was pretty awkward, but. In terms of Lo Celso being back in the squad, how much of a boost is that for us, do you think? And do you think he could give us a bit of a shot of the arm?
It's difficult to say how fit he is, but I think Giovanni, we know, is capable of being world class. I think either in the 10 position or next to Højbjerg, whoever. It's not probably going to be Højbjerg, as we said, so it's going to be Sissoko. Maybe it probably seems like Sissoko might be the only option. So we could see him next to him taking Tanguy's position in the pivot or at the number 10. I mean, either or. I think he's very composed. He's very classy on the ball. Similar to Lamela, maybe without the early yellow card or anything. He likes to get stuck in. And maybe this is his opportunity. I can't really speak on whether he'll really play or not. I think it's too hard to tell.
Mm-hmm. And what score prediction are you going for, Jack?
I would be going for... I think it was pretty smartly said before with Eden. I think 2-0 seems to make sense. But at the end of the day, if we get that early goal, who knows? Maybe we'll take Harry Kane off at halftime. We'll have a lot of freedom and expression, and we might just run away with it. But at the same time, it's possible that Dinamo have to really press us in order to get back into the game, and they did not do that in the first leg at all. So it might just be a very different game, because I'm pretty sure if they want to get anything out of it, they're going to have to press us. So it might be a very different game than the first leg.
Do you think they'll really fancy themselves out in Croatia?
it's really difficult to say. I mean, I've never had any coach of mine of any sport in years past be arrested in between games. I don't know how either demotivating that is or motivating. It could be one or the other.
Isn't it? It's interesting. One.
Yeah, it could be one or the other. Maybe it's motivation for them, but
knowing our history and the Tottenham luck, you know it's going to be motivating.
100%.
Yeah, maybe there's a secret motivation underneath the rest for them, but I think it's possible that they might just be shell shocked more than we are, obviously, and maybe they'll just kind of fall asleep during the game and we'll kind of glide out at 2-0 or a 3-0.
All right, Jack. Absolute pleasure as always. Jack. We'll see you next time.
Thank you as always. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Come on, you Spurs.
All right, and who have we got? Oh, he's gone. So I think that's it then. Is that it? All right, so that is everything. That is the press conference reaction. That is the pre-match fan show. Everyone scroll down, smash that like, smash that subscribe button, absolutely destroy them. As this is the end of the stream, go and check our YouTube for the full press conference, and they will be there before every single game from now until the end of the season. So yeah, we're very happy to get the press conferences on the channel now. Tomorrow we'll be giving you the live watch along and the post-match fan show when it is your chance to have your say, and the rest of today we have got a Lucas Moura press conference to go up and predicted lineup, so check out for that kind of content as well. Thank you everyone for joining us. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.